Hey guys, welcome back to another review here on the Pop Culture Network. Now, we've taken a look at some of the Total Heroes figures in the past, but I noticed a couple new ones out there the other day, so I went ahead and grabbed them so we could do the review here today. We are going to talk about Green Lantern. Now, let's throw him in the photo tent here and take a look. Green Lantern, if you're familiar with the character at all, he's got a power ring that creates these energy constructs, become different weapons, cages, giant fist, whatever. As part of the Total Heroes line, he's got a bigger, chunkier body type, and they've got some nice artwork from the series there. You can see some of the other characters, biographical information, yada, yada, yada. One of the things I found interesting, though, is that this packaging, unlike all the other packaging, doesn't just say Green Lantern at the top, like all the others that say Superman, Batman, Aquaman, etc. What we have here is actually Green Lantern Corps. You've got the Green Lantern logo and the Green Lantern Corps logo, not just the Green Lantern logo, which I found a little weird. Doesn't match up with the other figures, but still, maybe because of the cartoon a few years ago, people still remember it, and so they went ahead and used that name. But let's go ahead and rip this guy open. Probably just threw that camera out of focus. You're welcome. All right, hop back in. Green Lantern. Now, he's got his overall basic look of the New 52. One of the key things in the New 52 is he does recreate his emblem hovering out in front with an energy charge. You really can't do that, obviously, with a figure like this. So instead, they just have the painted on logo. But otherwise, the design, the way it's cut out, the way all the different pieces kind of come together, that is how he looks in the New 52. And in the New 52, it is more of an armor piece, and it's almost electrified. A lot of the lines are supposed to glow when he's powered up. They didn't do that on this, probably just as a regular cost-saving measure. They didn't put the extra paint into him. They are using the same body types that we've seen before. It's the same arms, same forearms, same hands, legs, feet. Everything is the same, except he does have the power ring molded onto his hand there, so they did sculpt that new. The head, of course, is a new sculpt. This is Hal Jordan, the real Green Lantern. I don't care what area you grew up in. He's the guy who's Green Lantern, and that's just the way it's got to be. And they didn't make a completely new body, although they did add a little bit of texture to the back, so it does look more like his costume, unlike the arms and legs that are just the exact same reused pieces. One thing I'll note, though, having just opened this up and taken a look, you can see that there is some paint slop on the back. It actually looks like some red paint, so I'm guessing that came from, well, I would say Flash, but Flash was molded in red and they painted on the yellow, so I'm guessing maybe from a Superman figure somewhere in the line. But just a little piece of slop. But again, this is a kid's line. Little kids aren't necessarily going to care about that like a lot of us older collectors. And then the ring itself, you can see it's basically just a big flat piece on his hand. There's no actual sculpting of the Green Lantern logo or anything like that, which, I'm a little disappointed in, but not too terribly much. It's all right. Now, his energy construct piece here, it's basically a two-headed axe, which is a little weird. Not the type of thing that you would normally put in a children's toy. Is something that looks like you could poke out eyeballs and chop people's heads off. But that's what they gave him as part of this line, so there you go. And it should, I would assume, just pop easily into his hand. And of course, you'd be a little incorrect because the hand is tough. It takes some work to get him in there. And it's also a little funky that they make a construct to go in his other hand instead of something that attaches to the fist, because this is actually going to be generated by the ring. Normally you'd have some sort of energy trail going across. And so instead of having like a giant fist that clamps on here, and, looks like a giant, punching boxing glove or a giant clamp or whatever, instead they just make this thing that fits in his hand, which is it's not true to the character, and it's just kind of funky looking. So it's nice that they put something in there, but to be honest, if I was playing with this, I probably wouldn't use that very much at all. But there you go. Compared to all the others in the line, he just fits perfectly along with them. You've got the articulation down here in the ankles. You've got the knee. You've got the hip here. You've got the waist. You've got the shoulder, elbow, wrist, and then, of course, neck. And so it matches everything else that we've seen in this line. Nothing about him really stands out as being different, except for maybe this construct, similar to how Aquaman had the trident piece, Batman had his Batarang grapple gun thing. You do have that extra construct piece on there, but for the most part, it's just the same as all the others. It's a kid's line. It's a cheap line. The ability to reuse parts is a big deal for Mattel and making this line available. So it's not going to look as nice as a lot of your classics or legends or whatever, but it's not supposed to be. It is supposed to be something cheaper and a little more kid-friendly and not as spectacular as some of the other stuff that you see out there. But still, it's a nice-looking figure, and overall it looks great, and my kids just can't wait to play with it. So, there you go. Overall, a decent figure, definitely worth the price. You can find them at Toys R Us for about $10, which is definitely a good price for a figure of that size. And the articulation, even though it's a little more limited than something like a Classics or a Legends, it's still more than enough than what a kid's going to need to play with. So my kids actually love the Total Heroes line, and they're going to love Green Lantern as well. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to go to Pop Culture Network, check out more reviews, stuff about comics, video games, toys, all that kind of good stuff. You can also talk to me on Twitter if you want to ask me a question or something. It's the easiest way to get a reply back from me. I can reply instantaneously on there and it doesn't get lost like my emails. So that is at PCN_dirt. You can also call our 24-hour voicemail line. It's area code 217-953-4025 and leave a message 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Although please don't leave a message that lasts 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, because that would be very long to listen to. And also you can go to jointheforums.com, the official forums of the Pop Culture Network, where you can talk to other people who love toys and comic books and video games and all of that great stuff. Alright guys, thanks again for watching. I'll see you next time.
I got you now.
Hey, we both have weapons, and they're made from our energy. That's right.